listening to the Los Rotos podcast with Vanessa Scaduto. Produced by Upside Down Creative Media. Bienvenida a Los Rotos podcast. Hey guys, it's me, Vanessa Scaduto again. I'm here with a very special guest, my friend and funny friend at that, Scott Whatley. What's up, Scott?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. I wish I could have somebody on every day so that way I could get through the list, because I was actually writing the list of how many comics there are in Jacksonville, and there's a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, once I started writing it down, I'm like, am I at 30 right now?
Damn.
I didn't even think about it. Like, oh, I do know that person or that. Don't get me wrong, some of them are Daytona comics too, though. But I feel like they're kind of our cousins because they come and visit us so much.
Yeah, Daytona is that cousin that shows up in a tube top to the funeral.
On acid.
Yeah, like
they're always on acid. It
what's with Jessica?
Like they're always like on some kind of acid. I don't know. Have you ever done the Nog mic and Daytona tier Nog?
No, I've never done anything in Daytona. I've done Orlando, Gainesville.
Oh, I did it last week.
Atlanta.
I liked it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody was super nice. I love the Daytona comics, but I did it during Bike Week, so that was interesting. I've never been to Daytona. That was my first time during Bike Week, and it is a serial killer's wonderland. It is Disneyland for serial killers.
How's it going? Cruise through, pick up a couple bodies, no big deal.
Exactly what I thought it was going to be. No, yeah, that's why I was like, I opened up with that too. I was like, hey guys, yeah, I've never been here for this fucking reason. Yeah. I may be murdered in the next 30 minutes out back. Come by me.
You get started in just a second. I'm going to share my location with some loved ones.
Yeah, you know, it sucks because I am weirdly not into the government knowing where I'm at. I don't always have it on. So even though I know they're always listening, and I'm probably in some database. That's cool. So obviously I know I'm in a database somewhere, guys, but relax. I don't want to hear any of your shit. Okay.
Snowden comes out.
Yeah.
They're listening.
I know.
Where did you come from?
Bitch, I thought you were in Russia somewhere. Isn't he in Russia? Where's Snowden?
Is he still alive?
I thought so. Isn't he alive? Did Q say something different? Just kidding. Did Q? Anyway.
I'll see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'll see what you did.
All right. Before we start the roasting, no, I want you to. Sorry, Scott.
What did QAnon say?
What did Q say?
Hey, do you like what they did with the inside of the Capitol?
On that 4chan, what? No. Or is it 2chan now? I don't know what it is. But anyway, no. Tell us how you got into comedy. How long you've been doing it? I mean, I probably know, but tell our audience.
So I've been less than 2 years. I'm a baby comedian. Like just
you wouldn't know it though.
Just starting out. My friend Drew is a comedian from Houston, and I used to live in Houston, and we've been friends a long time, and he's crushing it out there, by the way, and. He called me up one day and he's like, hey man, he does this, like a YouTube show called New to Drew.
Okay.
And he's like, and basically he just messes things up the whole time. Like he does new things, like people teach him, and he just fails at it the whole time.
That sounds great.
Like
actually.
One of the episodes he went and like tried to learn how to like wrestle, and these guys are like just flipping him all around the mat. So he just does silly stuff like that, and just kind of comedically is taught how to do things.
Right.
And so he called me and he goes, hey man, I want to do an episode where I learned how to surf. Do you think you could help me out with that? I was like, absolutely, dude. Come out. So he flew out and we filmed for like a couple days, and he was like, hey, this we're going to do something different on this one. I'm going to teach you to do something that I do. And he's a musician. Right. He's on the radio. He's like all kinds of cool stuff. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? He's like, you're going to do some stand-up comedy. I was like, okay. Oh, okay. He's like, you excited? I'm like, no, I kind of feel like throwing up is what I feel like doing.
Ooh, yeah. I just kind of not thinking about that first time.
Yeah, and my dad was a comedian.
Right.
I think you knew that, but and my
dad,
but
the audience doesn't.
Yeah, so you guys don't know. My dad was a comedian.
So
and a good one at that.
Probably a little lucky there.
Yeah, I grew up growing up in my household, like you didn't really get in trouble, you just got roasted. You know, it was like look fun. What your brother did.
Yeah, right.
He thinks that he can come in, you know, it's like and so I kind of grew up around comedy, and I remember like going to watch my dad at clubs and stuff like that, and thinking it was like a bucket list thing for me. Like I really want to do this. But
Drew knew that though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he was kind of just pushing
for
you
a long
to
time.
Do it.
Yeah, I would write a joke and send it to him. And he'd go, "That's kind of cool. You should try. You know, this would be a good tag for that." Or whatever. Right. And then so I already kind of knew a little bit about that. And my dad and I had been writing material forever. You know, he'd sitting at dinner and he's gonna run a bit by you without you noticing. You know. But anyway, so yeah, Drew was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that." And I was like, "Cool. When?" He's like, "About 4 hours." I was like, what? And so he also has a podcast called Breaking Down Bits.
Okay.
So if you're into podcasting, check out Breaking Down Bits. It's really awesome. They have
let me write that down. Maybe we can tag them in the thing.
Yeah, we need to. It's a phenomenal podcast, and they have a lot of really big name comedians on there, and they basically just kind of talk about really great bits, sets or whatever, like what went behind it, the careers, and it's like a level deeper into like what a working comic is going through and what it takes to be successful and stuff. But anyway, because of that podcast, a comedian here in Jacksonville, Morgan Gallo's a fan of that podcast. So she was, he knew her through that, and he knew she was here, and reached out to her and just said, hey, I'm going to be in town. I have a friend that I want to get him out, get him on stage. Where should we go? And she gave me the whole list. I gave him the list. And so we did it. We did like 3 nights in a row and filmed every single night. The third night was at CBD. And it's funny. I was actually just yesterday or today, I was posting some more just old like crowd work stuff on my reels, and I was kind of digging back. It's funny, like the further back I dug into like my videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh dude, oh you terrible, and I know I'm gonna look at the stuff I'm doing now in 3 years and be like, dude, what are you doing?
You know that I had that similar feeling where I was listening to old bits that I thought had gone well, and then
like, that used to kill.
You're like, the one part of that went well, not the whole like. Now where I'm like, oh, I've developed that joke so much better since then. I am happier. I think it's true. Like I used to come around just to like hang out. I had my jokes, but I wasn't repeating them. You know, like to make them better in a sense. Because I guess at a period of time it was just comics because of the pandemic, or whatever. Whereas mostly us watching each other, where I'm like, I want to just do something new. They've already heard this, but you do have to practice your jokes, guys. 100%. If you're going to do comedy, please practice your jokes. I'm learning not to give a fuck about these comics and their opinions now. But seriously, I realized that repetition. I mean, I was a musician. You're a musician too. So repetition is necessary to get something home.
Absolutely, yeah. I went through a series of that too, where I was like, I didn't want to show up to the same mic and do the same 5 minutes more than a couple times. So I wrote a lot right off the rip, and then I've thrown a lot of that away. And it's like some stuff I've done, like did one time, like, man, that actually was a decent bit. Maybe I should look at that, but it was something I didn't really want to keep doing. Like I didn't want to do that. Just smack that. I didn't want to do that at Rain Dogs and then show up at CBD and do it again, because I thought that you guys are gonna be like, don't you write anything? And then a few months into it, you're like, well, everybody's doing that, and I just need to get better at the jokes that I have that work.
Because if you look like here, Morgan, you already mentioned her. Yeah. Morgan is so diligent about her writing. I would say, like, when we were at Vooswar, I don't think it was this week, but the week before, she got off stage, she took notes on what she just did, Yeah,
she's quick about
it. And which is super smart and super dedicated. And, that's why I was telling other comics, like, you shouldn't be comparing yourselves to each other, really. You're all different. But if somebody is doing something that you want to do, you need to know what their habits are. Right. So if you want to do what, especially, there are some, I believe, jealous people on the scene. I don't think they're consciously aware of it, but I see it. If you're jealous of what she's doing, well, maybe you should be doing it then.
Get better.
I was like,
go get better.
Just because she's doing better than you, sorry, work harder.
I'm like addicted to comedians. I love just watching people grow and do and hosting Vooswar. That's one of the coolest things. Is like, I look at the list at the end of the night a lot of the times, and I'm like, and it's funny, like certain names, I'm like, oh yeah, and then like, I'm like, oh, who's this person? You know, or like, because that's, how I do it. I like, hey, you're on next, you're on in 5 kind of thing. And I like people to not be like caught off guard. And I don't want to be on stage going, this next guy, and he's in the bathroom or something. But so, and it's like, I start to see, like, I still had the very first list from the very first one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I saved it, and me and Steven, I don't know, do you remember Steven? He started Vooswar with me.
He's in Nicaragua or something. I see his story all the time on my thing, and I'm like, where?
He's like, let's start a comedy night. By the way, see ya.
What happened to that?
He just decided to do some other stuff. But he and I, we took that list, and we both signed the back of it, and I've kept it, because I thought, you know what, in 10 years from now, it's going to be really cool to look at these names and be like, dude, this guy's got a special. Yeah. This dude's touring, That's
really smart of you,
I want to see that.
I never thought about that.
Because to me, it's like, it's special that anybody even shows up at all first. And then people that come all the time. And then, but like I said, like I just really love watching comics grow. To your point of people being jealous, like opened up my phone one day and I see Marcus Crespo at the Florida Theater opening for Theo Von.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And that was my first response. I messaged him and I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. That's so dope. He told me later that comics had reached out to him and were like, how'd you get that? How'd you do? And he's like, well, that's your first? Is like, how do you get some? Instead of just being like, good for you. You know,
yeah,
like,
I'm always just
how did you get that?
them.
He probably got it because he knows somebody that thinks he's funny that called him. Like,
yeah, when I saw Morgan was doing that for Jeffrey Ross, I was like, I just clapped. I was like,
what's she doing for Jeffrey Ross?
Well, she opened. She featured.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, so I was like, fucking yeah, dude. I was like, your face says it all. Like, but it was not. First off, I'm not even at her level. I don't do enough stuff. I don't. But I consider her my comic friend, so I'm gonna cheer her on and congratulate her and be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, you're fucking showing them."
Right.
You know,
we're part of a cool little scene and a culture. Like, why would you not want that scene to grow?
And honestly, there's not enough women to personally. This is me, personal opinion, obviously.
We disagree on how many women there are. There's plenty of women. There's women everywhere.
No, there's not enough women in our scene. In our scene, because I know there's women in comedy, but like there's way more women in comedy. I would say in Orlando,
is there?
Miami, yeah.
Okay.
Like when Dr. Anna Lepley, when Anna Lepley goes down to Miami, she has a lot of more female comics that she gets to show off and like introduce to her Instagram and wherever else. And here, like, I still talk to the girls, and you probably don't even know who these people are because I think by the time you started, they were already kind of filtering themselves out.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get them to come back, but even at the time, there was only like 4 girls maybe who would come out consistently. I would say me and Morgan are probably the only ones who consistently come out. And then maybe Moon shows up once in a while, you know, and...
I actually haven't seen her in a while, but I haven't been doing as many mics.
Thursday, she was at CBD. I got to only see her for a little bit. I said hello or whatever, but then I had to leave. But she shows up later, too, so that's another thing. It's like, and I think Jessica, she'll show up later in Mears, you know, but there's just not as many women. There really isn't. And that's okay, too, sometimes. I mean, I don't know what the deal is.
Hey, more isn't always better. There's a lot of dudes. They ain't all funny.
No, I know that. Believe me.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of
I just look at I look at comics as comics though. So when I see like a list, I don't care whether they're male or female. All I know is, damn it, I won't go on till like midnight.
I think about it.
That's why you see my ass get there early though, because I'm gonna choose my. I don't want to wait so long. So
yeah, no, I'm aware of it when I look at the list. Mostly because I kind of curate the show a little bit. Right. I think there's some open mics where it's like, that's the list. Everybody gets 5. You're going to get the light.
Yeah.
Get the hell off the stage. And then there's other ones where it like Buck's mic. It's hot potato. So this comic's going to call that comic. And so it's kind of a Russian roulette when you put your name on the list.
Yeah.
Like, will I get up tonight? Will I not? Will it be 2 a.m.? Will it be 10:30? And then there's stuff like the way I do mine. I don't know enough about how other people do their mics to know if mine's conventional or unconventional, but I look at that list and I go, okay, well, I've got these 3 dudes I know are really strong. This one consistently maybe isn't. So I'm going to take you or Morgan or somebody, I'm going to bump them to be right behind this person because they can get the room back.
Right.
I can use Marcus for that a lot because Marcus has a lot of energy and he can go for 20 minutes if you want. And
so Mikey B can do that
Mikey B can do it. Yeah. And so my goal is to make it a really entertaining show for the people,
right?
And a really fun mic for the comics, because I think if the people are having a good time, they're going to come back and they go, you got to come to this thing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and as a comic, it's like, dude, this was a blast because there was people there. How many mics have you gone to where it's like me telling jokes to you and 3 other comedians?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes that's fun too.
We should just go out back and
then
write
I say
jokes.
really off the wall shit because I know you guys don't give a fuck about it.
There's a freedom in that too.
Well, yeah, we don't care. Like when we're talking to each other, for the most part. I mean, and if you're a comic and you care what somebody says, I don't know why you're doing comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like, if you don't like it, that's fine. You'd be like, you're a fucking asshole and walk away. But like to get upset is a whole nother thing. I guess I don't know, man. I've been in like this Zen state lately where I'm just like, meh. Like,
what's on Office Space after he like decides to quit but not stop going? You're like him right now.
Yeah, I guess. Well, like, so like, okay, good example. You weren't there that this Monday, but at Shantytown, Shane had brought a friend or somebody. Okay. And he wanted to start talking about Ukraine and Russia. And I was like, I said something to him that basically kind of summed up my opinion about it. But like, it wasn't at least I thought it was an emotional response, but he got an emotional response with it where he
poked his little trigger button.
I don't know. I guess, he's all about hating on Russian people or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like, it sucks for all the civilians involved in any war, including us. We're getting jackhammered, in the
war
pocket.
War is ugly. There is no good war.
Right. And I was just trying to basically say, it's a lot more convoluted than we will probably ever really understand.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, I basically go, oh, because he started getting upset. And I go, oh, so you want to argue. I go, I don't want to do that. You have a good night though. All right. And I was like,
bye-bye now.
Yeah, but I was fine. Like I just set a boundary. Yeah. My beer was done. Like, so I was like, perfect time. I'll go get a beer, come back. And I come out and I don't know if it was Jake or somebody else. They're like, oh, you're back. You're all right. And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? And I guess because as a woman, they thought I was emotional. I was like, no, you just saw a healthy woman set a boundary and go, oh, you want to do this emotional warfare? I don't.
Yeah, not my game.
I'm not like...
Well, people, I think, have really muddied the waters between discussions and disagreements.
Yeah.
And also attacks and hate.
Yeah.
Because you and I will...
we don't agree at all about some shit. But we just make fun of each other.
Well, there's a mutual respect and understanding. It's like, at the end of the day, like...
Oh, yeah, we're still respectful. Yeah, we're still respectful to one another. Problem. And nothing you're saying is so off the wall that it's immoral or, you know what I mean? Like where you go... Oh, is Scott like something wrong? There's nothing like that.
Lost that up, like that ability to just
have a discourse, some discourse.
For how many years? Like I heard this growing up.
I mean, look at your shirt. I can't stand either one of those people.
Oh man.
But I don't mind that you wear it.
I was born in it. Don't look at my hard nipples. Don't you look at that hard nipple. I was born in '84.
You were not born in '84.
I was. Yeah.
You're younger than me?
I'm 37.
Oh my God.
Do I look haggard?
No, I thought because
you were only 37, old bag of shit.
No, you look great, but I thought
Father Time drag you around back and beat your ass.
No, because I thought you were friends with Chance for so long that you guys were the same age. He's 42 or he's 41.
So Chance.
Oh no, he'll be 42 this year.
Chance gave me my first tattoo when I turned 18.
Oh my God, Chance.
Yeah.
So Chance had to be like 22 at the time.
He was young.
Or something
I just was like finishing apprenticing.
If you were 18, he was 22 or 23.
Yeah, me and my stepdad.
Yeah, then that's the right age. Actually, that's about the right age.
Well, he was tattooing across the street from a high school. I used to go. He straight up.
I don't know if he ever told me that. I don't.
Yeah, so like.
Is that where Ink Smith and Rogers was?
Yeah, it used to be right across the street from my high school.
I didn't know it was right across.
And so before I was even 18, I would go over there and just watch guys tattoo because I thought it was awesome.
Oh yeah, because you didn't have videos like YouTube or anything or TikTok to go.
No, and I just thought tattooing in general was really cool, and I would just sit and be like,
right,
this is rad. And me and Chance became friends. Like I would just sit. He'd be tattooing random people. I'd just be sitting there talking to him.
Oh, you got to see Chancey when he was a little baby.
Yeah, he was a young guy. I remember Chance when he didn't even have sleeves. So I've known him a long time, and it was really cool to sit and watch. So by the time I got my first tattoo, I was like, "You want me to break down your station?" Like,
oh wow!
Like I just had been around it so much, and then so he gave me.
Well, no, that's cool. I didn't know. I mean, he told me he was by the base. Like people would come out from the base. Actually, where he works now with his boss John. John knew him too because John would come into the shop. This is before he tattooed. So. I guess Chance has always been the friendly guy though,
right.
Especially for a tattooer at that time.
He's very approachable as a tattoo artist.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember the 90s and the early 2000s, tattooing was still something that wasn't
very counterculture.
Yeah, it wasn't something that everybody did. Oh yeah, I know. I hear it all the time from him and his buddies, his homies.
I went and worked right after I graduated high school. I went and worked at a Salvation Army camp in Keystone, and it was really cool. Inner city kids brought out, and we would like take them swimming and do all this cool stuff, and there was like a whole week where it was just men's like boys camp, and then the whole week where it was girls camp, and during like girls camp, like all the guy counselors, like we would be switched off into like we were working the grounds, like mowing and collecting. Like there was all kinds of trees that had fallen down and stuff. You'd go collect all that stuff.
Speaking of,
is he calling right now?
Love my left. Yeah, he is. I gotta message him. He doesn't realize. Go ahead. No, go ahead. So I'm still listening to you.
So at the time, I had just started kind of getting, not a full sleeve, but I had enough tattoos that especially in a Christian organization like
Right.
that. They're like, who's the guy with the tattoos? Can we leave him around the kids?
Right, exactly.
So, but a lot of these other counselors and stuff were like, dude, where'd you get your tattoos and stuff?
Right.
And people were from all over the place. And so I texted Chance. I was like, hey, all these people down here, they want tattoos, man. Like, what do you think? And he's like, should I block off a day? And so, I mean, I brought I think during I went to him 2 different times, and each time I just brought like a truckload of people, and he just tattooed all day long.
Right.
And then again, like later in the summer, did it again when it was like the opposite camp. And so it was really fun. Like I just like, come on, meet my friend Chance. And he like, who knows how many people he tattooed.
That's true.
And then I did it again years later when I lived in Texas. Like people were like, who does your stuff? Who does your tattoos? Because his work stands out, you know?
Yeah, I would say so. I just, when I met him, I had no idea like that he was actually that good.
Really good. He's really good.
Yeah, but everybody started being on my dick when they found it. They're like, "Your
boyfriend got him more than tattoos."
Yeah, I was like, they're like,
"Is it free tattoo giveaway?"
Chance could, I was like, "Who the fuck?" Yeah. Like, I just thought he was super funny, and then I found out he was an artist, and I was like, "Oh, he's really talented."
Yeah.
But I never really saw his tattoo work. I literally saw him just painting stuff and whatever. Then I saw his tattoo work, and I was like, oh, he's actually...
start meeting people. They go, yeah, Chance did this. Or,
he's like, babe, look at this. I did this 20 years ago. And I'm like, it still looks fucking slick as fuck still, like 20-year-old tattoo, like everything should be fucking faded or blurred or spread out. But no, it was...
This one, I think I was like 19.
Dude, that's pretty good still. Yeah, that's pretty good. Especially that blue's still in there.
Oh, yeah.
That blue's still in there, but...
But yeah, because he was so approachable and likable and funny, like I was bringing all these church people to him,
right?
And they were totally comfortable.
Oh, he's great with church people, which is totally so funny to me.
And when I lived in Texas, we did the same kind of deal. And I don't know if you can get in trouble for this or not. I don't know what the rules are, but we took a room in my house and turned it into a tattoo studio. He flew in and like for 2 days straight, just tattooed. I mean, probably tattooed 15 people, and it was a lot of fun. We just had like a whole tattoo party at the house, and then. I want to say we screen printed a bunch of shirts too, because at the time I was running a merch company. So my garage, 2-car garage, was just a print facility. Like it was just, you walked into it, looked like.
Were they like blue shirts with like a purpley
I think there
print?
was like some kind of cobra or something on it.
Because I mean, he has a few like old pictures where you can see these shirts that he designed, and they do look like screen printed of some sort. But
yeah, I remember making something. It might have been him, his design, or we might have just been making other stuff.
I just find it's such a small world, like that we knew each other without me knowing you knew him. But just shows I'm such a good girlfriend all the time.
Yeah. What's funny is the first time I ever went to, was it the first time? Maybe it was the second time I went to Rain Dogs. I didn't get on stage, and I was so new to comedy. I didn't even know how it works. I didn't know what hot potato was. I didn't know how the list worked. I was like, I'm a comedian. Yeah, I belong on stage. And then when it was like 2 a.m. and I wasn't on there, and I was texting Chance, I was like, man, and he's like, you want me to introduce you to my girlfriend? She's in the scene. She knows everybody. Maybe she can help you get on, whatever. And I was like, nah. And then I think I was venting to you about it too. And then like I didn't even realize I was talking to you.
The same person. Yeah.
And then when it clicked, I was like, oh yeah, well, dude, I know your girlfriend. Like I see her every week at all these different mics. So like, of course I know her.
Well, plus I people tend to tell me I'm more approachable than most people. Like I guess I'm similar to Chance in that way, where I'm like, I just talk to everybody. But yeah, no, I do find it funny. Jacksonville's such a small world. I think if you're creative in general, though, because you do more things than just comedy, obviously, and we'll brag about those in the end so you can promote everything. But like, I think if you are, when I say creative, but like me and my sister were talking about this, like saying artist sounds so like, I don't know, arrogant, but it is true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you do create in different mediums, whether that's music, whether it's video. Yeah. Whether that's a canvas of some sort, you are an artist
for sure.
100%. But it's just
you're an artist if you like the way you cook, the way you whatever. Like there's art and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's just my fear of success. Once you do that.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, like I started off graphic design,
right,
and went into photography and then video, and but even before then, I was a musician. I played in bands and stuff. But when I started doing graphic design, I was trying to figure out how to make T-shirts because I started this clothing company. Right. And I was hiring designers and stuff. And then I had been designing for several years before I even felt comfortable calling myself a graphic designer because I didn't go to school for it. Right. I had this like portfolio and I was getting jobs and I still was like,
I feel like, designer. If you have a portfolio and everything, you can, well, that's like me. Like I'm technically a UX UI designer, but it's like and by the way, if you guys want to hire me, go look for my portfolio. No, but it's like one of those things is I feel confident in my skill set, but I just finished school. Like it's my second degree or whatever, degree if you want to say that. But I got a teaching assistant to teach it, but yet no company will hire me, which is so weird to me. So I can teach the subject. I'm qualified to
teach it, but you want more experience.
I can teach new designers this, but I can't actually implement it in real life. Like, I don't know. It sounds so fucking stupid. Well, and I look at things like right now I work for a company that I'm not going to say their name. I'm there like part of the time or whatever, but I'm looking at this medium they're using to take orders or whatever. And I'm just like, this whole thing needs to be, I want to like the architecture of it. I want to redesign the architecture of it. And I just figured if it's $1 billion business, you'd think they'd invest in something to make it more efficient for their workers. They probably did
invest in it one time. And now the world is outgrown. It's going to cost them another $1 billion.
Well, it tells me that they told me recently it was updated.
Check out our new piece of shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're like. Actually, it's better now than it was. But yeah, there's some issues. And I'm like, better now. Like, it's the buttons aren't even big enough to put the whole names on. So you see half the names. So whoever did it could have just made the font smaller
or make it reactive,
or make it reactive when you scroll over it or something. But because it's a touch screen, you can't do that necessarily. But they could have just made it tighter. Like they could have just fixed the script
or
of it.
Or standardized abbreviations for all things so that they all fit into a 6-character
There's
window.
Multiple things they could have done that they never did.
That's hard when you're a designer because you start seeing stuff, you're like...
or they can have... Well, they have it like a file folder when really I think it just needs to like be a tab that opens in across the screen. The way they have it is like tabs at the bottom, tabs on the side. I feel like it's just overly...
Over-designed?
Yeah, over-designed. So I feel like they could start off with a new architecture. Oh my God, we're going into designer talk. We shouldn't even. They can just start off with the tabs they already got at the bottom.
Yeah.
But then figure out how to create that to be a little bit easier because they have one tab that just says other. Anything could go in there. That's not good enough to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Miscellaneous.
I don't know. It's even the font they chose. I'm just like, they're.
You know what? They probably did like 1 million like A and B group testing, like which one's easier to read, which one's and like so like.
Well, I want to be part of that group because they didn't do a very good. Well, I mean,
they might be like it may be really good for like 18-year-olds or like 16-year-olds that
I guess
have grown up on a phone rather than like us. Like what's intuitive to you and I may not be the most intuitive to
somebody and that's why I wanted to look at their case study. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Where did this come
my
from?
thing, I would have been like, well, what's the demographic they're shooting for? Who chose this style guide? Right. Because like I'm looking at the style guide. Well, you guys don't know, but a style guide is basically when you look at something on a website or anything. Audi is a perfect example. You can actually go look up their style guide. They have every possible thing that could happen. So if there's an error on the web page, it has to look a certain way. The colors have to be a certain way. Yeah. Sorry for hitting the microphone. And so anyway, but I'm looking at it and I go, I don't know.
Like who did that?
Yeah. Well, they're like light green, like light. Like I'm talking about like highlighter
like
light.
Hurts Your Eyes green?
No, they're almost like this pale green pastel kind of color with this with yellows and blues and reds and a gray. That's like
like the Easter Bunny wiped his ass.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. I don't know. They could do better. Yeah. I feel like if they color coordinated it too, that would be even faster for your eye to move to.
Yeah, this particular line of products is all blue. This particular line of
well,
products
they did that,
green.
But they didn't do it in the way that it would be so obvious initially. You know what I mean? Where you'd be like, oh, okay, these are all caffeinated beverages. Yeah. These are all decaffeinated. You know, like where you could tell certain things. I'm just like, so now I'm trying to learn this new menu, which they tell me they change it all the time, and I'm great.
Wonderful.
Cool. So anyway, I got to update my resume, check out my portfolio.
creative for hire. She knows a lot about style guides. So
Yeah.
You're into branding, looking at expanding your
Architecture,
business.
information architecture, you need that done. Surveys.
You want to start an agency? We could probably start an agency.
Dude, we could do it. We'll have Marshall, all of us. Honestly, listen, this is what.
What are we going to name it? Let's go ahead and launch this
So
thing.
I want to tell you, I was going to try to tell you guys this earlier, and I hope you're listening, Marshall. I just need investors, but I want to start a comedy club.
Do you?
Yeah, because you were talking about our lovely place here at the Ramada Inn, and that's like our only real place.
Yeah.
But that's not an actual real place because it doesn't actually host all comics. It only hosts those comics.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want to be like Mitzi Shore in this motherfucker. I will let anybody come in, but obviously if you're willing to do the work and stuff, not like some dumb bitch jumping on, stage.
If you did it in a way that good comics could get past.
Yeah,
that's
like
what
the way
I mean.
that,
like Comedy Cellar.
Well, I think I have a great sense of judgment for that, and I do give good advice. Like I said, I was telling Jake, and I even told Christian something too recently, and he's like, "No, I've heard that before." Like it's one of those things. Is like I may not take my own advice, but I definitely have I really would have been a good agent or manager, or I want to own a comedy club. That's like literally what I would.
That's what Drew is really considering buying a club.
Yeah.
And he runs a show called The Riot. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're sold out like 4 nights a week.
That's great.
And they're killing it. I don't know how much of that I'm allowed to talk about. I don't know how serious him and his partner are about.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that's his dream is to open a club. And I think he would be successful. Him and I were talking about what it takes to be successful with a comedy club, because they're notoriously bad investments. They just it's a tough business.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other things if you build your room right. You can do things other than just comedy. So how do you keep the dollar bills flowing all week long? Because comedy is like from 8 to midnight or 8 to 2 a.m. So so what do you do with your venue the rest of that time? Did you build it and structure it well that you can leverage it throughout the day?
Just like the Comedy Store in LA, they allowed comics to film their podcast there and rent the space and do all that. So it's like, I would definitely do that for my comic friends at a decent rate or whatever. Yeah. Even more so if they can bring seats in and I can look at sales and go, okay, like you guys definitely brought this in. But initially, it's going to be all investment, money, and I have to find investors who are willing to believe that I can do something like this and make it something.
We should take like Vooswar and just say how much to have the back bar designated as comedy for these nights of the week, and then banner it up, do a test market.
Well, that's the thing is like, that's
not specifically Vooswar, but a place like that.
Yeah, that's a great area. I just would love for it to look slightly different, a little bit more cozy than what it is.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to make Vooswar look like a club.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys probably...
And the lights, thank goodness the lights are off. If it was on, you don't have that feel.
Couldn't do it. And
there's so much that goes into it. But it's a great place. I mean, I love the vibe there, regardless of how it looks or whatever. I love the owner, like Vooswar. Lewis is the man. Well, Lewis, you're the man.
Yeah, and big credit for letting just a random dude walk in and go, hey, I'd like to do comedy in your venue.
He never had an idea how much... like you would bring in. I think he's been like happy about that probably, right?
We talk about it because I go in early and I set the room up because I have to move all those tables and chairs and I get the whole place looking like a comedy club because really it's a dance floor that everybody's sitting on.
Right.
It's like, kind of like a disco.
I know when you turned it on that one day, I was like, I didn't know it lit up or anything until you did that. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. And then when I go back the next day, usually on Wednesdays and put it all back the way he wants it because it's got to be ready for Wednesday night. And a lot of times we do go over that. I'm like, hey, how are the numbers looking? Right. We've had several conversations where my question for him is this still worth it for you? Because you're giving up the night of the week for this idea that I have. So are your bartenders happy? Do your numbers look better on Tuesday nights than they did before we met?
I guarantee they look better.
They do.
Yeah.
And it's... but I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to keep working hard to promote it. I'm going to keep bringing people in here. They're going to keep buying drinks and tipping. And we're going to keep saying wild and outlandish things from your stage. Thanks for giving us the grace on that.
Because he's when I was leaving one night, he's like, girl, you wild. I love you. Like, you're so funny. And I was like, oh, thanks so much. Bye. But, it's just I just like the vibe there in general. I can't explain it. Something about that.
Feels comfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like, to me.
It feels like home in a way, like for all of us.
You know what? The feeling I get when I go. So for me growing up, I mean, I feel like everybody's got that one friend whose parents were never home. But you could go over there and like just kind of be yourselves, maybe there was always going to be like some snacks in the pantry, and like nobody knew where their parents were, but it was just like super rad. And he's got cool posters in his room. Like that's Vooswar to me. It's like a place where I can just kind of dude, the parents aren't home. We're just going to do whatever we want. And like even though Lewis is there, he's just fine with us. Just like have fun, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just Lewis's vibe though, because he's very calm, but he's very direct too, and I like him for that because he's just like, no, I know what's up. Like, and I can tell he likes you. If he likes you, he likes you. If you don't like you, bye.
Yeah, he's told me a couple times about some different people, like, and he's helped me get people out of there.
Oh, I'm so glad he's never said nothing about it. I thought you were gonna tell me he's told me a couple things about you. I was like, what did I do?
Just about different people. He'll be like, hey, what's up with your boy?
DJ, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, he's been like, hey, what's up with your dude? I'm like, that's your boy. He's like, that's your boy. I'm like, all right, I'll go talk to him.
Oh, damn. Like, he's like, not today.
Not today. Yeah. So it's really cool. I'm super thankful for it. And like I said, like I haven't been doing comedy that long, so just to pop in and start doing this, like super trial and error.
So you always wanted to do, I know we went off on tangents, but you always wanted to do comedy because you saw your dad and like you just thought like you've always been into it and you're just like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I've been a class clown type my whole life.
Like Chance was really surprised when I was like, no, Scott's doing it. He's like, he is? Really? And he's like, he used to, do that. And, you're passed up. And I was like, okay, that doesn't mean he can't be funny. Like,
yeah.
But I think his brain was trying to, like, mix with the concept. But he did say, like, when he hadn't seen you for a while, how, like, happy you seemed. Like, so happy and everything, which he loved to see that. Yeah. Which is great.
Well, definitely, like, when I first met Chance, I was working and living in a Southern Baptist church. Like I lived in a parsonage.
Okay.
So a home that the church owns that they put you up in as a pastor. And
I didn't know it was Baptist, bro.
Southern Baptist,
I know.
Dude. I actually brought
Any
Chance.
Baptist to me is scary. Okay, so Southern or Northern.
Yeah. I brought Chance to church with me, and he told me, he was like, nobody looked me in the eyes. And Chance is covered, right? Like he's covered in tattoos.
He's the sweetest, though.
So sweet. And he said, the only man that looked me in the eyes was the guy that opened the door, and he had love and hate tattooed on his knuckles. This guy was like 80 years old.
Aww.
And he said, that's the only guy that looked me in the eyes. And so when I met Chance, I was part of a very legalistic church. And I love Jesus.
Right.
my
What's legalistic mean, if you don't mind me asking?
Another term maybe like ritualistic or something. So like
very very doctrinated kind of, like very so very literal to what the
not
the
so
interpretation
much.
of the
So,
church.
No, that would be theologically sound.
Okay.
That would be strong doctrine. Like your doctrine is airtight. Like the intricacies of what the gospel is and that Jesus died for you and like all the different things. Legalistic would be things that are set up beyond the expectations of Scripture for the sake of behavior.
Okay.
Like we don't drink, smoke, or chew, or go with girls that do.
Okay.
And like I can say fuck, and I'm still going to heaven, right?
Yeah.
So like there's grace. And now all things are okay, but are they good for you or bad for you? And you have to evaluate, how does this affect my relationship with the Lord, and am I in right standing with God as a result of this? And there's freedom in that gospel. And Jesus goes like, I'm giving you freedom from hell and sin and shame and all those things. And out of that, you should have a desire to live a certain way.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh at all this.
Wait, hearing me talk like that?
No, it's just like, I just feel like, no, that's great. Like those things, I guess I just always looked at God like doesn't give a shit what we do, because it's freedom of choice. And it's up to us to make those decisions.
We do totally have free will.
Yeah,
100%.
that's what I get. That's my personal opinion. So I just laugh when
if God like demanded that we love him a certain way, it'd be like a narcissistic boyfriend. You will love me. Like I'm scared. Like that's not.
Yeah, but I mean, like for loving yourself, I guess like if you wanted to look at like the therapeutical point of view, like it's a healthy thought for you to question if those things are good for you. It's when you question, am I in right standing with God, that I go, like,
yeah, well, I think
it's just a personal thing where I go inside. I want to make fun because I don't know that.
Well, I wouldn't want to be. I want to be in right standing with you, right? So, like, I wouldn't.
Do you though?
Yeah, totally. We're friends. We're friends because I respect and care about you. So,
I guess
like,
the right standing terminology to means as if I have authority over you, and I don't. And that's what triggers me to go.
Well, he is the God of the universe, so he's got authority over me.
I feel like, but God doesn't, in the sense like God gave us free will, so it's like if
100%.
you believe in that, right?
100%. He has turned that over.
So
he's not like puppeteering.
I feel like God is what most parents are, which is unconditional love, right?
Sure.
So I feel like we put things on us that God does not,
and that's
legalistic. Right.
That's like, if you look at the book of Leviticus, like the book of Leviticus, like, right, the book of Leviticus, there's so many laws and rules that were written above the 10 commandments. Like, they were like, here's the 10.
Right.
That's what we're doing. And they had rules that went for miles to keep them away from the 10. And Jesus was like, well, what are you doing? I don't require that of you. You're doing that.
I really would love these conversations people have with Jesus so I can have that conversation.
Hey, so
no, I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean,
it took me a long time before I could have an authentic conversation with Jesus, because it's like around the time that I met Chance and stuff like that. Like, I was so wrapped up in bringing like a packaged version of what I thought Jesus wanted to see of me to him, that I wasn't actually being me.
yourself. Yeah.
Right. And it took a lot of breakdown and a lot of pain in my life through a bunch of different circumstances, where I was actually able to finally go, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, when I talk to God, I'm just going to talk to him.
Well,
And all the anger, all the pain, all the fear, all that stuff, I was able to finally just go, here it is. And as a result of that, like, and I swung the pendulum too far in different directions, like exercising that freedom and being like, I'll do what I want, and then swinging that back and going, okay, that was a little much.
Right.
And then finding this balance of like, wanting to, I can say fuck on stage and I'm fine, right?
God's not gonna, I'll tell you, I've been saying it most of my life.
Yeah, like,
Jesus is all right. All right. He's all right with that.
And listen, I'm not lobbying for like this rebellious, profane version of conversation for the sake of it.
Right.
But loosening that grip on like what,
I think
seeking after the approval of people, like mankind, as opposed to seeking after the affection of God, was.
Right.
I was just worried about, do you guys think I'm doing okay?
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I was burying down all this like secret pain and sin and like all this terrible shit in my life, when I should have just been freer with that and trusting that, I was still going to be loved.
You'd figure it out. Yeah, you'd figure it out. And
come till now. And so like, I still journal, and I have all these friends that I talk to all the time. And
but what do you?
my prayer life is just so different now than it used to be.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you though about that, because I'm not like a Christian. I never had. I don't say that derogatory. I don't mean that in any way. When I joke around about it, I joke around about the control that it can have over people, because I don't believe that God, or my belief of what God is not that. My belief of God is that we're loved 100%, and that we don't have anything to worry about as long as you're trying to do right in your life. You're going to make mistakes. You're human. You're not, and you're not this being of all holiness,
We're broken. We're born broken.
And I do believe in past lives, which kind of coincides. But here's the thing. Oh, wait, I'm going to get to the point. You may not believe
I'm
that.
listening. You listen to me.
The reason why I say I believe in past lives is because I do believe we come back here to get better, like soul-wise, like work on ourselves, because I don't think a lifetime, one lifetime is enough to achieve, like, especially if we want to walk in the path of God, then we probably have to keep coming back. And it's kind of like Buddhists think the same thing. They want to become the enlightened one, which is to gain that path of control over their emotions and their physicality or aspect of it. And then I studied world religions, and I actually studied the life of Jesus a lot, because he was a real person. Whether you agree he was the Messiah or not is completely two different things.
AD, BC. We divided our calendar based on the dude.
Yeah, but he was a real character. So, but a real person, whether you believe he was the Messiah or not, is completely two different things, because people want to get in arguments about certain stuff, and I'm like,
over his existence in
general. And I'm like, okay, maybe the Messiah part can be mythical to you, that's fine, but we've already proven this guy's existence.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
but
he's a real historic person. He's a historical person. We're not, they're not coming up with King David and Solomon out of nowhere. These are real, and they've actually recently proven that these kings have existed. They found stuff. And James Cameron believes he found the tomb of Jesus, but the church suppressed it, because then they'd find out Jesus was married and blah blah blah. Patriarchal shit, whatever. Because I used to identify as a Gnostic Christian, and those Gnostic Christians in the Essenes were killed by Christians, as we know, Catholics and stuff. So, because we used to say that the kingdom of God is within you and all around you, it's not at a place. And, they didn't like that. They wanted their money.
Yeah.
And look at the Vatican now, baby. Look at the Vatican now. Anyway, so.
I've been preaching that forever. Like, the church is not the bricks, man. It's the people in it.
But this is perfect, though, that we're talking about this, because I was going to ask you about paranormal stuff. And I believe that you can count Christianity in a way as that, because it's a belief in something that to you it's proven, but not necessarily to everybody. It's like my experience of seeing something supernatural or whatever, because I had friends who were atheists and they're like, prove it to me. I go, why? I'm not trying to prove it to you. I don't need to. This was my experience.
Yeah.
And just like you haven't had an experience, you don't believe it. Like, I'm not out here waving a flag going, it exists, but I'm just like, that's my experience, and I'm gonna walk through life knowing that I'm fine, dude. I'll be going somewhere. It ain't, it's not just, in my opinion, I'm not just going nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm going somewhere. But so have you had
a paranormal experience?
Yeah, like anything that you could be like, and here's the thing, right? Because of
you want a ghost story?
Yeah, well, because of if you've had it, because I've had some people come on here and they're like, no, I haven't.
So I because of my faith, I would define things as evil.
Yeah,
like
right.
Angels or demons, right?
I was about to say that, though. You may define it differently.
I would define it as that
it,
because for me it's very black and white. Like, there's good and evil, there's angels are real, so are demons, so on. But I'll tell you a crazy story.
Yeah, I want to hear one. That's
all right. So
baby, give it to me.
So this is like 2006. I just gotten married, and at the time, I'm divorced now. Sorry, guys. Burst your bubble. Sucked. Not the marriage, just the divorce. Everything about divorce sucks. Everything, I mean, it's just.
It's in general.
It's a big part of.
I'm sure it sucks for her too.
Yeah, but hey, honestly, we get along really, really well. And because I'm on a microphone, I got a camera here, I will have to say this. My kids are unbelievable, like incredible kids. And that is hugely because of my ex-wife. Incredible mother.
I know it is.
No, straight up.
Yeah. I'm the mom. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom.
I'll go out with my kids.
I'm sure it is. I know you did it, honey. I know you did it.
People will be like, your kids are so amazing. I'm like, they have an unbelievable mother. So, and we co-parent really, really well,
great,
and we get along great.
That's awesome.
And I'm engaged, and my fiance actually coaches the kids soccer. Great. Not now, but has coached the kids soccer team.
Yeah.
And it's cool because we're all be on the sidelines just cheering, and the kids are just
it should be about
loved from
them,
a million directions.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the ghost story.
Yeah.
So we had just moved into this house, and it was owned by the church, and it was like that parsonage I was telling you about. So it was part of our pay, that you can live here, and here's like $50 a week or a month to buy your groceries, kind of thing.
That's really cool, though.
It was super rad. I mean, dude, we lived on Black Creek. It was so fun. It was such cool times. But this house was, first off, it's huge. It was like this hodgepodge. When we first moved into it, there was no cabinet doors on any of the cabinets. There were no doors on any of the hinges, but they were all like stacked. And so I like put them all back up,
Oh, no, Scott, you did not.
Bro, so listen.
Yeah, that's why they took him down.
So check this out. So there was a staircase, and at the top of the staircase, there was a bedroom, a bathroom, and a bedroom. And it was like a Jack and Jill. They shared that bedroom. Well, every time I walked by that bedroom, I was just like, something's not right. And I would just keep going. And it was just like a constant, I would walk quick when I was going past that bedroom, And then the door was always opened to this bedroom. And I would always close the door. Every time I would walk by it, shut the door. Walk by again, door's open. I'm like, that's click. I would pull it, click, push against it, door's closed. Damn thing be open again. So finally, I asked my ex-wife, Brittany. I go, hey, is there something? Are you using that door to come out of the bathroom?
Right.
She's like, no. Why do you keep leaving that door open? She's like, I shut that thing 3 times a day.
So you're shutting it, and she's shutting it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm like,
cool.
I'm like, okay.
Cool story.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, listen, that's freaking weird. So then my buddy James Smith, yes, sir, James Smith, that's his nickname. He comes over, sits in the, yes, sir. Yes, sir, James Smith comes over. He sits in the living room. He grabs my guitar, and he's like, what's with that room up there? I'm like, what do you mean, man? He's like, I don't know, dude. Something about that room just freaking me out. I was like, bro, Tell me about it. So I tell him, he's like, that's not good, man. That is bad news bears up there. You know, we're all freaked out about it. So this goes on for a while.
I'm getting scared. Okay.
I'm getting
goosebumps.
So listen, like 2 or 3 months later, I come home. There's this woman, an old ass woman, standing in front of my front door to my house. The front door is wide open. She's just standing there. And I park the truck and I walk up to her. I get really close to her and I'm like, how's it going? No response. Hey there. No response. She's just staring into the house. I'm like, hey. Oh, hi. I'm like, yeah, I live here. Can I help you? She's like, oh, I used to live here. I just was coming by to check on things. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And I'm like getting her out of there. And I'm like, wait a minute.
How's the door open though?
Yep. I don't freaking know.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, but before you go, I need to ask you something. Did anything ever happen in that room at the top of the stairs? She's like, oh, that's my mother's room. She's still here. I was like, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about this. And she's like, yeah, every now and then you could just feel her dress when she walks by. She's still here. I was like, you gotta go. I got her out of there. I got the hell out. I didn't even go back into that house by myself. I brought a friend. I was like, you gotta go with me to go back in this house because I don't know what the hell's going on. We moved out of that mug.
But you never did like anything to like exorcise her from the house or
prayed a lot. Prayed a lot and got out of there. Moved.
Did you pray like openly though for her to hear you? Enough?
I don't recall. This is in 2006. I will say this. So I had some friends in a band. There's a Christian band. And I mean, they're like mega famous Christian artists. Like, I know it's kind of oxymoron, but in the Christian world, it's as big as they possibly get.
Right.
But when they would come through town, they would crash with me.
Right.
And Mike is a singer of this band. He actually stayed up in that room. And we were like sitting there waiting for him to come downstairs in the morning. I'm like, so how'd you sleep? He's like, oh, fine. Totally fine. I'm like, well, that's because he's holier than the rest of us and nobody's going to mess with him. These demons are messing with me. They're not messing with Mike. He's totally fine. Dude. Yeah. But so that's my paranormal story.
So maybe like nothing was really wrong with that lady. You just felt her energy there. You know what I mean? But did it feel like evil, or did it just feel like something's there and it's making me uncomfortable and creeped out kind of thing?
That for sure.
See, I feel like she was probably just fine. She probably needed to be told she could go.
She's probably like, take them cabinets down. I can't see what's in there to eat.
I would ask that lady, why'd you take the cabinets off?
There was weird stuff. Like we found like, now it doesn't seem weird at all, actually. Post-pandemic, it doesn't seem weird at all. But there was one like in the bathroom above the... like where the tub and everything was, there was like this, like a, what do you call it? Like an air duct or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like up in there was just like rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls of toilet papers and paper towels. So
they've been hiding, like storing
it? They were like, they were definitely prepping. And like when I found it, I was like, this is so weird. Why would anybody stockpile toilet paper? And I actually thought about this during the pandemic when there was no toilet paper anywhere. And I was like,
damn it, that house has
they were just too early. Like, how long do you have to hold on to things until you actually need it?
Yeah, that would have been curious to see like how old her mom actually was, because she probably could have been during the
Depression or
something. During the Depression. And that's because my grandparents were like that. They'd save certain things, but they weren't thank God they weren't hoarders, but they would save certain things where you'd be like, Grandma, like she would take stamps off of envelopes, but like in a sense where she didn't need to. She had plenty of money, but she would save them because she's like, no, it didn't get rolled over. You can reapply it. And she would. Damn. And they would. Back
then, a lot of work
you
for
could
5 cents.
It was less than 5 cents then. I think it was like a cent.
A cent.
Yeah, maybe less than a cent, because this is.
I remember this
is from the 80s, so I remember her doing this even in the 80s still. But yeah, it was definitely different. But that was your only one time like paranormal thing that happened to you?
My buddy James, he was like, you need to take a picture in here with a digital camera. This is back when digital cameras.
Yeah,
he's like,
it was the
you're gonna see
thing,
orbs. You're gonna see orbs everywhere. Oh, they're gonna be everywhere. I was like, dude.
You're like, yeah, dust, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man.
No, I'm curious. I mean, I was curious with you because I know your belief system, because I have some friends who are Christian and they don't believe in ghosts at all, because you either go to heaven or hell. You don't go. But that's just their belief system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like Scripture's full of examples. You know, like you got the demon-possessed man, and Jesus confronts him, and the demons fly into the pigs, and the pigs jump off the cliff. How's that possible if there's not demons running around? This
is kind of what me and CJ were talking about. One of the episodes is because there was something I was watching on TV, and this is kind of, he lived in a haunted house. He still wants to go back and buy this house because it's CJ.
CJ.
severely haunted house. And
severely, not just one or two lazy ghosts.
like
These
bad,
are active ghosts. They got a CrossFit gym in the garage.
Like if he still had that house, I'd be like, let's do an investigation. Like it's that haunted that I'd be like, let's do it, dude. Like me and you, man, smoke all night. Fucking just
that'll make it better.
Oh yeah, well, I would be awesome.
When I'm running into ghosts, I like to do it nice and high. That way I can trust my feelings and emotions. The things that I'm seeing are definitely
I'm more
there.
in tune with the earth, bro, and its processes. I know.
Dude, give me the Doritos. Do you see that ghost?
I was like, you hear that banging in the kitchen? And he's like, bro, that's the cat. You got it high. No, no. CJ told me some crazy stories. So if you ever get a chance to listen to that episode with him, but I was telling CJ that I was watching something that this guy. He was like an on-call plumber or something like that, a handyman of some sort. And the dispatcher said, you have to be at this house at this time. And he goes, well, can you just get somebody else to do it? I don't know if I'll be there in time. She's like, you have to. They're going to pay good money. And they specifically asked you to be there at this exact time. And they made it a point to tell us. So you're the one guy we can depend on. I need you to be there. So he goes, fine, I'll go there. He gets to the place. Or something like that, and the door's open to the place. So he kind of peeks in and knocks, and he sees kind of like down the hall where they're at. There, it looks like there's a few people there, and there looks like what he thinks is praying or something, like a candle. And then out of nowhere, he sees this woman point to him and scream, get into him or something like that. And he goes, what the fuck is it? So he just took off, calls the dispatcher and says, I don't know what is going on, but these people didn't need my help. They were doing some kind of seance or something. Gets to his house. All of a sudden he starts seeing this shadow being in his house. And
CJ seeing the shadow?
No, not CJ. This is a story I told CJ.
But
CJ has other stuff in the old house. But this is
where's the origin of your story here?
This is just a random guy told this story that he started. It turns out that those people intentionally brought him there because they were being, they had an attachment to them, whether that's a demon or a spirit.
They're trying to send it into him?
They did attach it to him. This lady who was like a psychic of some sort, she removed it, but in order to remove it, you have to attach it to something else because she's not talented enough, I guess, to send it back to where it came from.
She's like amateur.
Yeah, because I feel like that's horrific. Like you would attach it, unless she does some white magic, black magic crap, because there are Santeria witches and stuff. It depends on what religion you're celebrating.
I don't practice Santeria.
Yeah. I ain't got no crystal ball.
Santeria, is that what it is? Santeria?
It's Santeria, yeah.
Santeria.
But all I know is there's good Santeria and there's bad Santeria. And I would tell you that I wouldn't fuck with any Santeria. That's just
I ain't trying to poke no Santeria.
I'm not trying to fuck with any mystical realm. I'm already
I don't even watch scary movies. I don't want to invite that in.
Yeah, I'm already having a tough time understanding the simulation I'm in right now. Okay, I have a lot of DLCs. My algorithm's off, so I don't need to add a side mission through a haunted GTA alley. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm just like.
Are you an NFT?
No, I don't have an NFT.
Are you one?
I'm not.
How do I know?
I don't know because I don't even know what an NFT is. Okay, like I know what it is, but I don't know what it like. What I mean
obviously
is,
it's made out of bitcoins.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Is we are again
pixie dust.
Simulation. We are adding value to something that is not a reality, which we've done with our own money, like our own monetizing.
Think about how much people thought baseball cards are going to be worth.
He's got one right now in his.
I brought you guys here to talk about magic.
Oh, did you? Did you really? I guess he's selling some baseball
this
cards.
This is actually my business card.
Okay. I thought that was.
That's my business card. That's
one
of my clients is Live Forever Golf, and this is how we do our business cards.
This is really cool though. So you just decided like nobody's ever gonna get these. I'm just gonna write on them, and this is so cool.
Yeah, this is it.
Gilberto Reyes.
Look at this guy right here.
From Expos. Which one is this one? The Braves? Yeah. Bruce Benedict. Bro, Bruce, where you at, bro?
Anyway, those are just in my back pocket. I don't even know why I have them.
This is from 1990. This is from 1992. All right. I was just a little kid. Oh,
yeah, man. But people were attaching all kinds of value. These are going to be your kids' college.
Yeah, no.
No, they're not.
Just like the Beanie Babies.
Oh, my gosh.
The Beanie Babies are one of them.
Tickle Me Elmo?
Oh no, please. That one was kind of terrifying to me. I wouldn't get it.
Yellow.
But we're almost out of time, Scott.
What is our time? I'm sorry. I don't
No,
wanna
that's
derail the
okay.
whole-
No, I want you to promote everything. I know we spoke about Vooswar and things like that, but I want you to be specific about it, like where it's at, you know, and the dates, or the time. What else is there? I mean, your shows. Well, that'll
probably be done by the time this
Yeah, it
comes
will
out,
be
huh?
done, but like, you know,
Yeah.
you can just tell people to hit you up whenever. You know.
Well, first off, thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course.
This is
No,
awesome.
dude, I'm glad you came.
I've been wanting to get on this show since the first time I saw it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, seriously, I saw it and I was like, dang, dude, that's
I really
awesome. I want to
appreciate
be on that
man.
podcast so
yeah,
bad.
no, I appreciate that. It's really weird. People telling me stuff because I have horrible self-esteem. But thanks.
Oh my! And you're a great interviewer. We went all over the place. Did we accomplish all your goals for
My goals? Yeah,
Okay.
I do it just like my set list, just words.
Yeah, my set list is
Never write it.
My
No,
set list is like Tourette syndrome, gay bar, cousin's truck.
My balls dropped yesterday.
Waxing taints. You know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What does this mean, sir? Like,
Yeah, no. Tell people your deets though. Like what?
Deets, so,
Yeah.
First
Where to
off,
find you at?
follow me on Instagram, Scott Whatley Creative. That's WHATLEY. I'm a freelancing creative. We talked about design and stuff earlier, but that's branding, strategy, and content. That's what I do. Those business cards. It's one of my clients, Live Forever Golf. They're super rad, and that's what we do. But from a comedy standpoint, check out my Instagram, Scott Whatley Creative, and look at my reels. That's where I keep all the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But then I host a show on Tuesday nights at Vooswar, 51 Robert Street in Mayport. You're gonna think you're lost. You're not lost.
You're not lost.
Yeah,
And
it's kinda hard to
believe
find.
me, they found you.
Yeah.
They
like the
found
land-
you. You thought you were looking for them, but they found you.
It's the land of misfit toys. But if you're not afraid of offensive material,
Yeah, please.
and
if you are, don't fucking come.
Oh my
dude.
gosh,
Fuck
yeah.
you and
See?
your mama too.
that's how it works.
If you're
just like that.
offended, seriously, I'm so sick of
Yeah.
all of that.
Well, we don't no snowflakes allowed. Comedy
Okay, also,
is
don't
boundary
use the word
pushing.
snowflakes either, or libtard or anything.
You can't use snowflake.
I'm not using any of it unless I get to call another Republican a snowflake.
Yeah, if you're a snowflake, you're a snowflake.
I do. Yeah,
Snowflake is not party
yeah,
division.
but see, they have divided it. They put it into.
You should bring it over.
I have. I
Call
called.
me one right now.
You're at Vooswar. I've called Republican snowflakes for
Good.
getting upset when I said something. I was making fun
Listen,
of. Don't you
bitch
remember?
waffle is
Yeah.
universal, right? Do not be a bitch waffle.
There you go.
Come out and enjoy a good time. Yeah, Vooswar Tuesday
Oh,
nights.
now you're talking about women? No, okay.
Don't be a
We
waffle.
can go down there. Listen, guys.
It's too easy.
You can any word. You can find problems with it. Okay.
100%.
How about you just laugh shit off and move along? This is how
Exactly.
we deal with our trauma.
Exactly.
We're not fucking heroes.
I have a whole bit. Well, we're not even going to get into that.
Yeah, really. I know. I was like, where are we going with this? Because
Well,
I was like, how much time? Oh, wait, look at that. No, okay.
Time's up. Yeah, we won't even get into that. But
Okay.
Tuesday nights, Vooswar, it's really fun.
Vooswar.
And we're Ink Factory Brewing. We're going to start doing shows there. We got our first show coming up. It's kind of a trial. So
Right.
if you show up on another one and we're not there, it's because the first one sucked. But
That's not
I
true.
think the first one's going to be
necessarily.
great. We're almost sold out already on tickets.
Yeah, you guys,
and,
I don't know what.
We have a great lineup. And
Yeah,
so
you'll do great, dude. You
Yeah.
always do, usually. Like, so I don't even know why you're worried about it.
because we went into it like, hey, let's do one. Let's evaluate it.
Right.
Let's see if it's profitable for you guys. Let's see if it fits their brand because, you know, they're an Ink Factory Brewing that used to be Void Magazine. They bought the place. Now they're doing craft beer. And so they have to be careful with their brand and what they attach themselves to, you know, and comedy can be a little rough. So we've had some discussions about it, mostly me warning them really, because they're like, we want it. I'm like, do you know what you want? Are you sure you know what you want? Because this could be, and they're like, dude, we think it's time for people to have.
I feel like a brewing company should always have a comedy night, in
I
my
think so,
opinion,
too.
because
I do.
Who doesn't want to have a few drinks and laugh? And then,
Right.
you know,
I think the world needs to laugh right now.
oh my God, dude.
And it's cool to
People
get-
need to laugh at themselves a lot more. Everybody's way too
For sure.
fucking serious, dude.
I know. Like, you know, one of the funniest things that I've had happen in a long time is a few weeks back, we ended the show and then CJ was still there and he was there. I don't know. He was with some people and he was sitting right up front. He had already done his set and stuff, but he was just right up front. He was laughing the whole time. You may have already left.
I had to leave. I had to work the next day. Yeah.
I'm like closing the show out and he yells up and he's like, you won't do a roast battle with me right now.
I think he told me that you guys.
I was like, you want to go right now? And so I brought CJ on stage and we roasted each other back and forth for 5 or 10 minutes.
That's so fun.
It was so fun, man. And we were just like really digging at each other and laughing. And
so that's
so good.
That is one thing that actually I forgot to tell you. Jake does want to have a roast night.
You mentioned it.
But he talked to Lewis. Lewis is not interested in it.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it was because of Jake's delivery. I mean,
Maybe.
if Jake delivered how he delivered what kind of podcast he wants with us, it's
not good in sales. Great comic, real funny.
Jake, love you.
Not a sales guy.
He's like,
what does he do for a living?
He's a he sells insurance. He sells like homeowners.
Okay, he is a sales guy. He's a sales guy.
No,
here's new products.
Yeah,
they give him a hard time.
The funny thing is when like I said, I told you, he gave me something to compare what he wants to do, and when I actually said I wouldn't be good at that, and then he goes, well, that's not exactly it. I was like, well, then you need to learn how to pitch, bro.
He was trying to sell you what he thought you wanted to hear.
Compare. Yeah, like who?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking woman. I don't want to do jackass shit or Eric Andre. Like, also, why does it have to be like that? I don't understand why we can't come up with our own format. Anyway.
Yeah, I think a roast would be cool. I think we can just do it on a Tuesday night. Just let people know, hey, tonight's a roast night.
Yeah, right. You
figure it out. I want to do a contest too. I want to do like a.
I need practice with my roasting.
A 4-week contest, and then.
I mean, I'm good at roasting you guys in a group.
Yeah.
But there are some guys that I know get sensitive when I turn the roasting back on them, and they're like, damn it.
Well, half of you guys, you open your sets by roasting me. Mikey B does 2 minutes off the top on me every single time.
Well, I roast you and Mikey B sometimes. Yeah. Like when I said that to Christian and I got him to laugh, I was the Docking Brothers. I was like, I have to say that on stage because I was like, yeah, they're Docking Brothers. And Christian goes, he does that laugh that he does when it's he has whole body. And I was like, oh, if I got Christian to laugh like that, then I'll get them to laugh. And you did. You fell out.
Yep.
You fell out. And I don't even know if Mikey heard that. I don't think Mikey was there that night.
I don't know. He stinks. Mikey's been brought on by Encore at the end of the night, like weeks in a row.
Really?
Have you been? You've probably been gone. There's been multiple weeks.
Well, I know that he was one time I was there. He's brought on like a second time or whatever.
Yeah, I did that randomly for I think to put him on the spot because I was messing with him. Mm-hmm. And then, because earlier in the night he's like, "Geez, I should have went on later because the room was hot." Oh, yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
the room was hot
and
later on.
And he did come on later.
Yeah, but I don't know if people caught on to that. And this is like not friends, not people he brought, but like there's been multiple weeks where people are like Mikey B and like bringing him up by applause at the end of the night, and I'm like, "Go back up, dude. You're getting encored. Like, how cool is that?"
But yeah, Mikey's hilarious.
He's great. Mikey B, Morgan Gallows, Drew Jordan.
Vanessa Scaduto.
I'm talking about this. Vanessa Scaduto. Myself, Ink Factory Brewing on the 24th, if this is out.
Yeah, I would promote more comics if they actually had some social media thing, too. That's another thing. Some of them don't have a social media.
I'm tagging one of our opening comic, Josh, and he's got, like, nothing. I'm like, dude. Yeah. Do something.
Well, I mean, they don't even own a handle is what I'm saying. Like some of them just have Facebook and I'm like, I don't even really, I only use Facebook just, to have to use it. Anyway, we got to, Scott, we'll talk all day.
Have you on again.
I love you, man.
Have you on again.
Thanks for coming through. And you guys, thanks for listening. Or if you're watching, we love you. Te amo mucho. We'll see you again. Thanks for watching Los Ratos.